Children, I hope you have gone through my previous videos and done all the work that was assigned to you. Let us now proceed further. Children, today we are going to study the chapter Classification of Elements and Periodicity in Elements. Now, periodic table is a table in which elements are classified according to their similar properties and they are grouped together in vertical and horizontal columns. Now, the modern periodic law was given by Moseley, who studied the X-ray spectrum of various elements and proved that atomic number is the fundamental property of the element. And he gave the modern periodic law, which said that the physical and chemical property of elements are periodic function of their atomic numbers. What is the meaning of this? That when elements are arranged in increasing order of their atomic number, then elements with similar property are repeated at regular intervals. This is called as periodicity of properties. So, modern periodic law says that if you arrange the elements in increasing order of atomic number, then after certain interval, you will find elements having same properties being repeated. Now, he gave a long form of periodic table, which is also called as Bohr's table. In this, elements with different electronic configuration have different properties and hence they were placed at different places in periodic table. And according to this, here is the long form periodic table you can see over here. According to this, there were 7 horizontal rows. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 horizontal rows, 18 vertical columns, and there were 4 blocks. So these 7 horizontal rows, they are called as periods. These 18 vertical columns, they were called as groups, and the whole of the periodic table is divided into 4 blocks. We will be studying in detail about all these blocks. They are S block, P block, D block and F block, depending upon the last electron or the valence electron in which orbital it is going. So let us take them up one by one. First we come to periods. There are a total of 7 periods. These are the horizontal rows, that is left to right in periodic table. Now periods are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from top to bottom. And the period number corresponds to the value of n. That is, n is what? Principal quantum number for the outermost or the valence shell. Valence shell is the last electron. Now, first, second and third periods, they are called as short periods. They contain first period contains 2 electrons, second period has 2 elements, second period and third period they have 8 elements each. Fourth, fifth and sixth periods, they are called as long periods. Fourth and fifth have 18 elements each, and the sixth period it has got 32 elements. The seventh period is also a long period, but it is called incomplete period because it can have 32 elements, but till now all the elements have not been discovered. Now there are 14 elements just after lanthanum. Lanthanum has atomic number 57. So after lanthanum there are 14 elements and 14 elements just after actinium. Actinium has atomic number 89. So these are placed in the rows. See over here, there are 2 rows below the periodic table. So they are called as lanthanides and actinides, or they are known as inner transition elements. So they are placed separately beneath the periodic table. Next we come to groups. So there are a total of 18 groups. Groups are these vertical columns which you can see in the period. Now according to IUPAC, the groups are numbered from 1 to 18. Okay, earlier they were named as 1A, 2A, 3B, 4B, 5B and so on. But now IUPAC has named them in numbers from 1 to 18. Like group 1 is alkali metal, group 2 is alkaline earth metals and so on. Group 17 is halogen. Okay, so these are the various groups of a period. The elements, group 1 I told you alkali metal, group 2 alkaline earth metal. The elements constituting 1, 2 and groups 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. They are called as normal or representative elements. And from 3 to 12 they are called as transition elements. Lanthanoid and actinoid, which I told you are placed beneath the periodic table, they also come in the same group of transition elements. They are known as, because they are placed separately, so they are known as inner transition elements. Okay. Now, if you look at the electronic configuration of elements in a group, see over here, this figure is showing you. Where is the cursor? Yeah, here. In first group electronic configuration of the outermost shell, it is NS1, and the block to which it will belong is S block. Name of the elements is alkali metals. Group 2 electronic configuration will be NS2. Block will be again S block. Name is alkaline earth metal. From 3 to 12 electronic configuration is N-1, D1 to 10, NS0 to 2. N can be 4, 5, 6 or 7. They are the D block elements and they are known as transition elements. From 13 to 17 electronic configuration is NS2, NP1 to 5. They are P block elements. Okay. And they are also known as P block elements only. And then group 18 is NS2, NP6. This is except helium. Helium doesn't have this electronic configuration, but it is present in group 18. So they are the P block elements. They are also known as inert gases or rare gas elements or noble gases. Okay, now next we come to what are the advantages of long form periodic table. This periodic table is based on electronic configuration of elements, so it makes the study easier. Then alkali metals and coinage metals have marked similarities, so they have been placed in separate groups, group 1 and group 2. Electronic configuration and properties help to know the position of element in periodic table. The element present in a particular group have same number and same distribution of electrons in valence shell, subshell, orbitals. Now, the reactive elements have been placed in group 1 and 2, and heavy metals have been placed in group 3 to 12, and all the non-metals in group 13 to 18. So, the elements are arranged according to their properties. The division of elements into S, P, D and F block has made the study simple and logical. There are some defects also of long form periodic table. Position of hydrogen in periodic table is ambiguous. It is present in group 1 as well as with the halogens in group 17. Lanthanoid actinoids do not have a place in the periodic table in the main body. They are placed below the periodic table, and according to electronic configuration, helium should be placed in S block, but it is placed in P block because helium has only 2 electrons. So next is nomenclature. There are certain elements which have atomic number more than 100. So nomenclature of elements with atomic number greater than 100. They are named in a different way. So recently the elements having atomic number 104 to 118 have been discovered, and IUPAC has suggested separate rules for naming elements which have atomic number more than 100. So for that, what is the name is derived directly from the atomic number of the element using numerical roots for 0 and for numbers 1 to 9. So these are the numerical roots. Like if you see for 0, numerical root is nil, abbreviation will be n. For 1, it is un, abbreviation u. For 2, bi, abbreviation b. For 3, tri, abbreviation t, and so on. 4, quad, 5, pent, 6, hex, 7, hept, 8, oct, and for 9, n, enn, abbreviation is e. So these are the numerical roots. Okay, then the root of each atomic number is combined. First you will see what is the numerical root of the number, then in the end you will combine it with em in the end. Then the symbol of element is obtained by combining first letter of each root for each digit of the atomic number, and each digit, it will obviously have more than one digit, so first letter of each digit is taken. And where did it go? Sorry, just a minute. And after that, the names for certain elements, they are shortened. Like for example, if it is BIIUM, then that can be just written as BIUM instead of writing I twice. Or TRI, try IUM, then in that case it can just be written as TRIUM. Now let us see a few examples over here. For example, if atomic number is 101, so for 101, the numerical root is un, for 0 it is nil, nil, and again un for 1. So un, nil, un, and in the end you have to add em. So what will be the name? Un, nil, un, em, and symbol will be u for 1, n for 0, and again u. So UNU, that will be the symbol. Suppose we take 105. So 1, for 1 the numerical root is un, for 0 nil, and for 5 pent. So you get the name un, nil, pent, then you have to add em to it, un, nil, pent, em, and the symbol will be UNP. U from un, n from nil, and p from pent. So the symbol will be UNP. Very simple. Okay, let us take another example. 113. 1 is un, then again 1, un, and 3, try. So the name becomes un, try, and you have to add em to it. So un, try, em. And what will be the symbol? UUT. Is it clear? So in this way you can practice naming of nomenclature of elements which have got more than atomic number more than 100. If you see earlier, the names were given like this: Mendelevium, Nobelium, Lawrencium, Rutherfordium. So these names were after the names of the scientists who discovered. So that was confusing, but this system of nomenclature in which you have to just see the roots, that is easier to remember. So that is the reason why this system came up. Now next, division of periodic table on the basis of blocks. So on the basis of blocks, periodic table, like I told you, is divided into 4 blocks. Which are those blocks? S block, P block, D block, and F block. This blocks depends on the last electron, that is the valence electron, to which orbital it is going. If it is going, last electron is going to S orbital, it will be S block. If it is going to P, it will be P block, and so on, D and F. Only exception I told you is helium. In this last electron goes to s orbital, but it is kept in p. Now let us begin with the first. Inner transition elements, they also come in f block elements. Okay, now let us study these blocks one by one. First is s block element. Now in this, last electron comes in s orbital. Now s orbital can have a maximum of 2 electrons. Therefore s block elements, they have only two groups, 1 and 2. Group 1 are called alkali metals, group 2 are called alkaline earth metals. Helium belongs to s block, but it has been placed in p block along with noble gases. And one more exception is hydrogen, which has electronic configuration 1s1, but it has been placed in group 1 as well as in group 17 because it has a lot of similarities with halogens. The electronic configuration of s block elements is ns1 or ns2. Now second block is p block elements. These are elements in which the outermost energy level or the electron is going into p shell. So the general electronic configuration will be ns2, s will be completely filled, np can be 1 to 6. P orbital can accommodate 6 electrons, so it can be 1 np1, np2, np3, np4, np5 and np6. Only exception here is helium, which is placed there although it does not have electron entering the s block. So together elements of s and p block, they are called as representative or normal elements. If you look at the general characteristics of s block elements are soft metals with low melting and boiling point and low ionization energy. They are very reactive. They are highly electropositive metals. They show oxidation state +1 and +2. The cations of these elements are colorless and diamagnetic. They form ionic compounds and are good reducing agents. If you look at p block elements contain both metals and non-metals. They have quite high ionization energy. S block had low ionization energy, and they form mostly covalent compound. S block was forming ionic compounds. P block will form covalent compound. They show variable oxidation states. They have acidic oxides. Metallic character of p block element increases on going down the group and decreases on going from left to right in a period. Noble gases show very low chemical reactivity because their outermost orbital is completely filled. Next we come to d block element. Last electron is going into d sublevel. Okay. General electronic configuration is n-1 d1 to 10 ns 0 to 2. Now there are 4 series in d block elements. Okay, 4 series are there in d block elements. General characteristics of d block are they have high melting point, they are hard metals except for mercury, they are malleable and ductile, they can form ionic as well as covalent, both compounds. They show variable oxidation states, they are good conductor of heat and electricity, they form colored compounds and have tendency to form complexes because a lot of space is available in them. So easily they can accept electrons from other elements. They are good catalysts and their ionization energy lies in between s block and p block elements. So this was the d block elements. Next is f block elements. Now the general configuration, electronic configuration, last electron is going into anti-penultimate shell, that is the f block element. So d block mein it was the penultimate, not the last cell but the shell before the last, that is why n-1d. But in f block it is anti-penultimate. Anti-penultimate means one shell before the penultimate. So n minus 2, F 0 to 14, n minus 1 D 0 to 1 and ns2. See what happens? First ns2 will be filled, then n minus 1 D, only one electron will go into D, then n minus 2 F will be fully filled, and then the remaining electrons will go to D. So there are 4 series I have already told you in D block, and F block mein they are divided into 2 groups, that is lanthanoids and actinoids. Lanthanoids are 4F block elements and actinoids are 5F block elements, and they are together known as inner transition elements. Now you see over here what happens, like I told you now, 4F elements. So first 4 is the n minus 2 value. First 6s2 will be filled, then one electron will go into 5d, and after that 14 electrons will go into 4f, and then if there are more electrons they will fill in d orbit, 5d orbital. Similarly with the 5f series also, first one electron will go to 7s, then from that one electron 7s will get 2 electrons, then one electron will go to 6d, and finally 5f will be filled 0 to 14 electrons. So these are the actinoids. General characteristics of F block elements are: all F block elements are metal, they have high melting boiling point, they show variable oxidation states, they form colored compounds. All elements of actinide series are radioactive, they form complex ions and also coordination compound. Now sometimes in the exam it is asked to predict the number of group, period and block of an element from its electronic configuration. In this, what you have to do is write the electronic configuration of the element, first step. Then you, from the electronic configuration, you see the outermost shell. So whatever is the principal quantum number of the outermost shell, that is your period. Then the subshell in which the last electron is entering, that is, period is the principal quantum number of outermost shell. The subshell in which last electron is entering, that is your block. And for group, what you have to do, the calculation is done, like if it is S block, then whether one element is there, valence electron, or 2 valence electrons are there, depending upon that you will tell the group. If it is 1, it will be group 1. If it is 2, it will be group 2. For P block, you have to add 10 plus number of valence electrons Ns and number of valence electrons Ns, and this should be N, not NO, NP. Number of valence electrons Ns and NP. 10 plus number of valence electrons Ns and Np. This is for P block. For D block, it will be number of, sorry, there is typing mistake, number of electrons in n minus 1d and ns orbital. That will make the group number. So let us take an example, like if you have to find the period, group and block of element having atomic number 24. So let us first write the electronic configuration. What will be the electronic configuration? It will be first 2 electrons in s orbital, so 1s2, then 2 electrons in 2s orbital, so 2s2, then 2p6, because 6 electrons can be accommodated in P. This makes it 2 plus 2 plus 6, that is 10. Then 2 in 3s2, 6 in 3p6, then 1 electron goes to 4s1 and the remaining 5 electrons go to 3d5. Now for the period, I told you that period is the principal quantum number of valence shell. So in this case the outermost shell is 4s, so principal quantum number is 4, so period will be 4. What is the block? Block is that subshell in which the last electron is going. So last electron is going in D, so block is D. And group, for D block, what is the group? Group is number of electrons in n-1d and ns. So in n-1d, what is the number of electrons? 5, and in ns 1. So 5 plus 1, 6. So the group will be 6. So try the numericals in the book on prediction of period, block and group if you are given the atomic number. Okay, just revise this much for now, and in next video we will take up the other things.